Hello, welcome back to Purpose and Power. I'm Renelle Brooks, your host, and I'm excited to get started on this next topic. Today, we're going to talk about target audience. Target audience, guys. We're going to narrow this down. So, here we take big ideas and we make them doable. Sometimes there's very, very big, complex plans and goals and dreams. We take that, break it down into bite sized pieces, actionable steps that you can readily accomplish. So, I'm your host again, and today we're talking about a topic that most people either skip over it or they overcomplicate it, finding your target audience. So it can be a bit more challenging, but it cannot be ignored. So as we go forward, we're going to show you how to narrow that down and help you to be able to choose your target audience. Now, the thing about target audience is really about connection. It's really about knowing who you're here to help, what they need, and how you're going to show up for them. So let's be honest, there's a lot of noise out there. If you want to cut through that noise and build a brand that resonates, you've got to get crystal clear on who you are talking to. And here's where most people go wrong. They assume their target audience is anyone who needs what they offer. Technically, that's true, but strategically, it's really a trap. When you try to reach everyone, you end up connecting with no one. So it is okay because you may have different services, different core things, and that's what I had to find out. We'll get into that a little bit later. But here's what identifying your target audience actually does for your business. One, it helps you to understand the real needs of your clients. And remember, we talked about that being the solution to the problem. So, what is the problem? So, knowing your target audience also helps you understand the real needs for your clients. It gives you insight in what services should go to who. It guides your pricing structure based on what each group values. It also helps you to market clearly and directly. So your target audience isn't just individual clients either. So I want you to think bigger. I want you to think about how expansive your business can be based on your target audience. Again, it's not everyone, not that big, but I'm going to give you some tips. So your target audience may include individuals and couples, depending on your service. Let's say you're a photographer. You can do individuals, you can do couples. So think about that. It also includes your vendors, other collaborators, organizations and businesses who need your services. Like, for instance, I'm a coach. I coach organizations, I coach businesses, but I also coach individuals on project specific goals. I have clients from people that need time management skills all the way to people that are doing global orphanages and they need micro and macro level sustainability within their organization. So you may have different target audiences for depending on what core services you offer, and that depends on the solutions that you want to bring to your community. Also, community partners and funding sources. So those all could be clients. Let's say you're a CPA. Let's say you work with philanthropy organizations. They are funding sources. So you really have to know your audience. So each of these target groups might require different messaging, pricing, or servicing packages. And that is okay. I found out that because I have a group of people that buy my books and they watch my podcasts and they subscribe to my newsletters. But then I have a group of people that only subscribe to coaching services or consulting services. And what I found out is they're not one and the same. I cannot offer certain things to certain people, or I can offer it, but the need for it is not the same in terms of my different services that I offer. But I want you to think about this. Think about your messaging. So the way you speak to board members, your language is going to be different than the way you speak to sponsors, which is also going to be different than the way you speak to donors, right? Because you can't speak to donors the same way you would speak to a board member. So let me expand that for you. Let me give you an example. So when speaking to a board member, you might want to discuss your strategic vision. You might want to discuss risk management. You may want to discuss financial health, but you're not going to speak that same language to a sponsor, because a sponsor is going to want to know what you can do for them. If it is an event that you are hosting and you want them to sponsor, when you ask them to sponsor your event, you want to speak to what visibility you can show them, what media coverage you can give them. It's all about them. It's all about them. So you can see here how that is different from speaking to your board members. So let's talk about donors just briefly. But donors, they're all concerned about the cause you are supporting. Does that cause align with their goals? What's important to them? So think about it. As a donor, I want to know if education is important to me. I am not going to fund a food bank if food security is not important to me. So when you reach out to those people, your messaging and your language has to be different. So you see what I mean? It's okay to have different audiences, but you must know how to engage those audiences. And like I said, I had to learn that as well. And we'll get into that in a later episode. The more clear you are on who you're talking to, the easier everything becomes. So when we think about demographics here, we're talking about target audience. So let's talk about demographics. This isn't just about age and gender. It's about values, environments, habits, lifestyles. So I want you to get a pen and paper, get your digital notebook, get ready, because we're going to write down some different demographic categories that may be important to build your audience profiles. Remember, there is an avatar that you can create, your ideal customer or your ideal client or your ideal guest that you serve. If you're a nonprofit organization, we used to call them guests. As they would come in, they were our guests and we would serve them. So think about that person, the ideal client, ideal customer, ideal avatar. And here are some categories that you can consider as you build your audience profile or your avatar. So think about their occupation. Think about their occupation. First of all, you want to think about their occupation because you also want to think about their ability to pay, their ability to be able to afford you. Now, of course, when you're doing your pricing strategy, you're going to do tiered levels. So you're going to have the clients that come in that just buy your intellectual property. They're going to buy your books. They're going to buy your downloads. They may subscribe to a membership if you have a vault of videos or key things that they can have for a year at a time. And then they re-up their membership or 6 months at a time. And then you're also going to have those middle clients that say, okay, I want to do some coaching or consulting. I want to do that. And that may be for a week at a time. But then you're going to have those clients that say, I have this big project. I need to put you on. And then that's where you're going to come up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in that. So you will have tiered services, but you also want to know their ability to pay, especially if you're doing something like coaching or consulting. So that's one thing. And then you also want to know what their likes and dislikes are and what they do for a living, because you want to know more about them. So another thing, and that's what we talked about briefly, is the income level. And so you want to have an understanding of the income level. You want to know if you are a good fit for that client. And the income level is an indicator that will help you determine. Remember, you are building your avatar, so you can choose the client that you want. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The family environment. Why do you want to know about the family environment? Is this a single mom I'm serving? Is this a 5-member family? So you want to know about your clients and the family environment in which they are in. Also, the education level. Is this someone, especially if you are bringing education, you want to know where are they at. You don't want to start them at grade school level with the skills and services that you have to offer when they're already at PhD level. So you want to know your target audience. Again, this is something that you choose. So you are building your avatar as we talk about these demographics. You are building your ideal client to get an understanding of who you would like to serve, who is a best fit for your core services. Gender identity. Are you a spa that only caters to women? Or do you have products for men? Do you have a male estheticians? So think about that. Gender identity is important. And maybe you serve both male and female, and that's okay. But you want to know so that you can create this avatar. Age range. Will you be serving young single mothers with one child, 2 children? And that's another reason why you want to know about family environment as well. And depending on your service, you may need to know all of these different things. What if you get funding from the government? If you have funding from the government, then you may need to stick into a particular demographic to be able to get the funding. What if you have grants? There again. And so that's important. Race and cultural identity. Are you serving a particular, let's say you're a hairstylist, so you may be in a city that is predominantly African American. So you want to know what products do they need? What extra things that you need to put in your hair salon to be able to bring the best service? What social class is your avatar in? What social class is your avatar in? If you are serving high-end clients, you better know how to serve them well, because they are used to high-end customer service. They are used to, high-end products and all of those things. So you want to make sure that you know what social class and that demographic that you want to serve so you can serve them well, so that your environment is conducive to that level of service. Also, geographic location. Nowadays, we have everything virtual. So if you're online, you can do e-commerce. You can sell all around the world. If you are a coach like I am, you can do virtual coaching. But if you don't have virtual, if it's something that is in brick and mortar, you want to be mindful of your geographic location, because generally the people that come to you, unless you have something that is very, very niche specific, most people will be from your area, your general surroundings. Now, there are people that will fly out and come because you offer something that is niche specific, and you have to know that. So what do you want to do for those clients that fly 1,000 miles to come and get your service? You want to offer something special and unique for them, because they have taken that time, spent that money to come get what you have to offer. Also, employment status. Employment status is crucial as well, because you want to know, are these clients working? Are my hours conducive to the greater population of employed clients? Do I need to offer evening hours? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes, do I need to offer weekends? Make those available. You may not want to work on a Saturday, but there may be clients that can only come on a Saturday. So you have to build the avatar. You make the decision. Also, their lifestyle choices and behaviors is really important. Thinking about lifestyle choices and behaviors. Let's say you do meal prep. Are your clients vegan? Do you have, that's a lifestyle choice. Do you have vegan dishes that you can prep for them and their behaviors? So all of these things are very, very important. So ask yourself, when you're building this avatar, what do they value? What frustrates them? What outcome are they hoping to get from working with you? Remember, again, I've said this several times, you are the boss here. You get to choose who you serve. So choose people that you enjoy working with, people you understand, people you can genuinely help. Remember, at the beginning, we talked about how target audience is about connection. It's really about connection. So you want to make sure that you like and enjoy the people that you are connecting with, people that you understand, and that people that you can genuinely help. So this episode, guys, is your permission slip to stop casting wide nets and start building focused relationships so that you can build your target audience, you can build your avatar, your ideal client, and that you can deliver the services that they need. So guys, as always, Purpose Inc. is here to help. If you need help, you're welcome to book a discovery call, or you can book one-on-one with me. We can talk about your needs, your goals, your desires, where you're at right now, and we can build the best strategy for you. So remember, guys, you don't need to be for everyone, but you just need to show up for the right ones. Let's make it make sense. Let's go, guys. See you in the next episode. Everything will be in the description below. And hopefully this was beneficial to you. Like and subscribe the video if you're watching on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up if you're watching on one of the audio platforms. And we will see you in the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.